This is Broke Money Hustle. And now here's Broke Money Hustle with Trico and Eric.
All right. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining us on episode, I think this is number 4 of Broke Money Hustle. My name is Eric. I'm your host today. My co-host is AWOL at the moment, so hopefully he'll be popping into the stream and joining us in a little bit as soon as he can get around to it. And today we are going to make up a little bit of ground that we lost last time. We have our special guest Ryan, who will be joining us soon to tell us his own experience with Acorns. Now, one of the things that we do on Broke Money Hustle is we're really trying to make the world of investing, saving, storing your wealth accessible to people who have little means. You know, if you can save $10 or $20, you don't necessarily need to put that in a bank savings account. You could invest it. You could put it in silver. You could put it in cryptocurrency. You could put it in something like Acorns, which is investing, but it's kind of hands-off. There's other things that you could do. And then there's also those decisions that we make where, you know, maybe we don't need that $30 or $40 t-shirt. Maybe we need a $30 or $40 stock in the company that makes those t-shirts. Just kind of changing your thinking to, number one, pay yourself first and try to pay down and get rid of debt and live within your means, and then try to grow those means as best as possible. So I do want to talk a little bit about the market. We had a really good rally today, and things are back up from the losses that we had on Thursday, Friday. Friday was a little bit of a rebound, and this morning looked kind of bleak, but it looks like the market kind of rebounded, and my Robinhood portfolio is doing well today, and my Acorns is doing well today. And of course, it is an up and down journey. There's going to be low days and high days, and we are in this for the long game. We're not day traders. We are not professional investors. So please do not take anything we say as the gospel and go blow a bunch of money on something that we might suggest or might be doing. If you really want to make a serious move into investing, talk to an actual financial advisor. Do your own homework. Learn from the people that we learned, and just generally try to do as much of the work that you can, and we can get stuff done and get it going. So anyway, I want to go ahead and bring in my guest. His name is Ryan, and he has been working with Acorns quite a little while, and he is all in it to win. Ryan, how you doing, and what's going on?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. It's good to hear from you. Haven't had a chance to see you in a while.
Yeah, same here. Great to hear your voice, and nice that we can connect on something other than art and comics and nerd culture. We're talking about saving money. How you been doing with Acorns?
I kind of stumbled on Acorns because I'm pretty sure it was you kept posting that link, and I think I signed on with your link, and I kind of set it and forget it, which is really a great strategy with Acorns. It's actually a great deal of stock in general because nobody can really predict it, and if we could predict it, we'd all be rich.
Yeah.
So I went all the way. There's 3 tiers to Acorns for the people that don't have it. There's just the investment account where he's going to bring it up now and show where you just invest and that's all it is, and then you can take it out if you want to. And then there's an IRA that you can set up. And if you don't have an IRA or 401k set up, you should, because the sooner you start saving, the more money you have when it comes time to pull it out. Even if you can only put away $5 a week, do it. Mm-hmm. And then it has the Acorns debit card, which really seemed like a gimmick to me. I have a debit card. It costs me nothing. Why do I want this debit card that costs me $1 a month? And then I looked at what the debit card does. Free ATM withdrawals, free transfer to and from my bank, and it unlocks this Acorns feature called local found money. So Acorns itself has a feature built into the first tier where if you shop at certain retailers online or you do certain things, those retailers actually give you money. They don't give you money off. It's not a gift card. It's actual cold hard cash put into your investment account. It's literal free money for shopping with them. And I mean free money, like not BS, not scam. I have a couple $100 in the found money already.
Really?
But those, yep, oh yeah. And those are just on the national scale. So if you use the debit card, which is this really handsome metal debit card, it's kind of a cool gadget, that has local found money that they've set up with local partners like Ma and Pa gas stations, local restaurants, hardware stores. I mean, I get 3% cash invested on my behalf for filling up my gas tank. Wow. And there's a restaurant I like to go to that is 5% of every bill. And it's not money off your bill. If your bill is $10, you pay the $10, and then magically in your investment account is 5% of that bill in a couple of months. It does take a while for the found money to show up because they don't want you playing the return game. Oh, I got my 25% return. My wife does the Hello Fresh delivery, and we actually canceled that because I saw it had a found money thing, so we canceled it and put it in my name, and now I have $25 in free money that's been given to me.
Wow.
That just sits in my invest account.
Now that's something I haven't really done yet. I know I get found money from Pretty Litter, and I like to push them too on the show, even though they're not a sponsor. They could be. But if you have a cat and you don't like smelling the litter box, Pretty Litter is the way to go. It's an amazing product. Like I said, you just have to stir it. You don't have to worry about disposal, anything but solid waste. And this material they came up with just sucks all the moisture out of it. And so it's a really clean way to have a cat box. But they give me back $2 every month on my subscription, which I thought was amazing.
Yep, and that's free money for something that you need anyway. eBay has it. AutoZone, Advance Auto, one of them has a found money thing. And I do all my own work on my bike and my truck because I love to tinker. So anytime I go there, I just order it through the Acorns app, which is really easy. It's like one extra step, and then boom, found money. eBay. You can see you've got it up on the screen there. There's a bunch of other ones. Yeah,
there's a lot of companies that are working with Acorns now. Do you have to create new accounts with these companies? Like I've had an eBay account since 2003.
Nope, you just got to log in.
Wow, that's awesome.
There are some that that have to be new customers. Like I signed up for ButcherBox, and I'll come back to that. But I signed up for ButcherBox the first time, and I think it was a $25 bonus. And I signed up. I made a new account for FTD Flowers to do something for Sarah on Valentine's Day. So I've been really trying to crank the free money side of Acorns, as well as a continued weekly deposit that I put in on both the invest account and the IRA. The IRA I don't even look at because I can't touch it till I'm 60 without a huge penalty because it's an IRA.
Yep, exactly.
So set it and forget it. Put away as much as you can afford and leave it alone because it'll be there when you turn 60. And you can even have an option in Acorn to leave it to somebody if you don't make it to 60.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Now, is it tied to the same 7 ETFs that Acorn has the market on, or could you do a gold-backed IRA through them?
Nope, it's the same. It's tied to the same stuff. And then there's the invest account, which the worst part about the invest account for new people is people don't understand that you cannot lose or make money investing unless you sell while you're down or you sell while you're up. And I'm going to say that again. If you buy, I'm going to use Walmart as an example. If you buy Walmart stock at $100 a share, and then the price goes down to $80 a share, people panic and think they've lost $20, and then they sell to get out so they don't lose any more. That is a tactical error. You were uneducated, and all you've done is seal in that loss.
Yep.
I'm going to say that again. Your value may be $80, but your $100 hasn't gone anywhere because you haven't sold or bought. Because in 2 weeks when it recovers and it goes to $110, now you've added $10 of value. So you could sell and make a profit of $10, or you could sell while you've lost $20 and take a hit of $20.
Yeah.
So what you do is never sell when you're down, ever. Even if the value hits $1 of that 100, you haven't lost money because it will recover. It'll always recover. That's what the market does, especially with Acorns, where you're varied on what you're invested in. So yeah, there was a while, I think it was 3 months ago, Eric, where you and I both took massive hits. Like, I think it was at one point we were down about 30%.
Yeah, I had in March during the crash, I had $300 down from my account, and that's a significant chunk of what I had saved.
Correct, but now you're up about $150.
Yeah, it's close to breaking 2K right now, which I'm really thrilled with, since my goal was 3,000 by 2023.
Right. And then, so I need to say that so people understand, because I see it on all the time on the Acorns Facebook page. Oh, I dropped a lot, so I sold and got out of there. All you did was lose money. You didn't stop the hemorrhaging. You made the wound worse.
It's a permanent wound at that point.
Exactly. It is a permanent wound at that point. So what you need to do is play the long game. Or if you need to take the money out, sit and watch it day to day until you're up. Then you can sell. If you only sell when you're up, you'll make money. I don't know how else to say it, but I see people making that mistake all the time. And then somebody out there is going to say, well, I don't have any money to invest. That is a lie.
Yep.
You've got $5 laying around that you don't need every week. Put it in there, set it and forget it.
And there's easily $5 that you spend that you could just stop spending every week. You know, how have that expensive piece of coffee, you know, start making your own coffee at home, save that $8 latte and put that in your savings account instead. That's one of the things we do. I listened to a little bit of Dave Ramsey, and I really like Dave Ramsey. If you want to get out of debt and you have debt issues and you're not sure what to do, go listen to Dave Ramsey. He's pretty much is the gospel on that. He really knows what he's doing, and you have to commit to it. You may struggle and have to tighten your belt, and the reality is a lot of people don't understand what tightening the belt means. They think, well, I still need to have fun. You don't. Yeah. You might have to suck it up and suffer. And that's okay, because once you're out of debt, you can live like nobody else. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of things that I did just to cut the budget. I haven't eaten out in 3 or 4 months. Or instead of getting delivery from a restaurant that's 2 miles away, it's cheaper just to call, order it, and go get it. I mean, that's probably what, $5 to $10 in delivery fee. Make a menu for your groceries for the week. I'm on the same menu Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, repeat. So my groceries for me and the people in my house are less than $50 a week because I'm on a set menu. That's just one more thing you can do to save a couple bucks. You don't need to go to Starbucks. It's a waste of money. You don't need McDonald's. It's a waste of money. You can eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I did the math on this. You can eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you buy it from Walmart every day for lunch at work with a baggie of carrot sticks for 80 cents a day.
Wow.
That's what it works out to.
That's pretty good. And so much of this is behavioral. Like everything we keep coming back to when we're talking about this is changing behaviors that we have emotions attached to. We get this emotional impulse to want to buy something to make ourselves feel good, to feel better, to collect things. When you could be collecting your future, you could be collecting stock. you don't, and it's really good to just kind of break that cycle of this emotional impulse purchasing and be able to tell yourself no, is it not?
Yes, and that's one of the things that that's really started to click. I'm going to turn my camera around here and I'm going to show you guys the Arnold wall. Okay. Can you see the tank, the shotgun, the arm, and the figures?
Hold on, I'm going to supersize your screen here. Whoop. And how do I do that? Damn it. This is one of the things I didn't learn how to do.
Whoop. Let me try this again.
All right, we're a little bit bigger now.
Do you see all that stuff?
That's nice.
Okay. It is nice. But you know what? All these collectibles don't do a thing for my bank account unless I sell them. And then if I sell them, I don't have them, and that's going to make you mad too. Now, I know that's kind of a catch-22, but literally every purchase I get on now, I stop and I ask myself, is it going to make me happy? Is it more than a wall hanger? And do I need it? And if I don't hit all three of those, I'm not buying it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't bought, I mean, I'll never buy a new car again. I don't like the new stuff. I can keep the old stuff running. I'll never buy a new car. I don't need to.
Right.
I decided I was sick of paying a gym fee for a gym membership for $30 a month to go and work out. You know what's free? Walking, running outside. And then I really wanted weights, and I scoured and I looked on Facebook and I was patient and I waited. And I'm not kidding you, no joke. If you wait for it on Facebook, you'll find it. I got an adjustable bench, an Olympic bar, 2 10-pounders, 2 25s, 2 35s, 2 45s for $30.
Wow, that is incredible.
The bar alone is $120, and people are gonna say, "Whoa, you got really lucky." No, I sat and waited.
Yeah,
you just got to be patient. And you know what? A used barbell lifts just as much as a new one.
Mm-hmm. My mom is wanting a piano for their house, and there's always a free piano that pops up somewhere.
There's always free instruments, or the third grader decided they didn't like it.
Yep, exactly. Or with pianos, especially because people don't want to move them, so they're just like, "Come get it, please."
Yep. And there's so much I can tell you that I've been trying to do, especially since COVID. I work a regular job, and I DoorDash in my spare time. And if that means if it's a 12 or it's a 14 or a 16-hour day, I'm making money and I'm not spending money.
So what's because part of this program is the hustle. So DoorDash would definitely qualify as a side hustle. How's your experience been doing that? I
do a lot of research, and I kind of eavesdrop on a lot of the, hello. There's a lot of talk of being judgy and picky about orders. And there's people that'll say, because DoorDash tells you how much you're going to make before you accept the order.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, "Oh, it's not worth it." And they'll skip that order. Okay, fine. I don't skip any order, because if I'm skipping orders, I'm waiting for the next one. And because of that, I got awarded Top Dasher. Top Dasher lets you dash anytime. You don't have to schedule, and I can bump other dashers out of the way and take their order.
Really? Wow. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't have control over it, but DoorDash will give me the option before it gives it to them. So I can make $1,200 a week door dashing, and people are like, "Oh, no, you can't." I'm freaking telling you, I do it consistently. I take every order they throw at me, and as soon as I get the money deposited, which I wait for the week, it deposits on Tuesdays, I take 25% and I stick it in Acorns, because it's going to make me money before it comes time to pay my taxes. So I'm like double dipping with the Acorns again and making my tax money work for me, because it's 1099 instead of W-2.
Right.
And then my other hustle, and people think this is a little dirtbaggish, but I'll step on your throat for $1. I'm easy. So, because I'm trying to lose weight, which means I'm eating less, which means I'm spending less on groceries, but I'm out walking around. And if I see somebody that's got something marked for free, Guess who comes back in their truck and picks it up?
Oh, nice.
Then I put it on Facebook for $10, and it's gone in a day. And I bet you I've made $2 or $3 grand doing that over the last 6 months.
Wow. So what's some of the things that you've found that people are just throwing away for free? Because they're throwing away their own money at that point.
Yes. Small bicycles, and everybody wants a bike for their kid.
Oh my gosh, bikes have been so hard to find since COVID.
Yeah, anytime I see one of those for free, it goes on Facebook for $25 and it's gone like that.
Yeah.
Furniture, TV stands, the old style TVs, $10, and somebody comes and gets them. Anything marked free that isn't like nasty, dirty garbage goes home, gets wiped down on Facebook. and I know people think, well, that's like ultra cheapskatey. You know what? I like free money.
Yeah.
It took me 10 minutes of effort, and I got money.
Now, since we transitioned back to Acorns, I wanted to kind of go over this NerdWallet Acorns review with you because I'm kind of shocked that they give Acorns a 3.5 out of 5 stars as far
I
as.
don't agree.
Yeah, I don't really agree with it either. Let's look at their pros and cons. So their pros are automatically invest spare change, which is what got me hooked into it because you don't miss the spare change. You never do.
Not at all.
Cash back at select retailers. We covered that with the found money. That's amazing.
Yeah, the cash back is kind of a misnomer. It's more like free money because you've already bought it and then it invested for you. So you never had it to be tempted to burn again.
Yeah, it's crazy because like my Pretty Litter is like $39 a month for 2 cats, and I'm getting $2 back from them. So that's $2 less that I'm paying for the subscription in the first place, and I get
and you're making money off it.
Yeah, exactly. They do have educational content available as the Acorn. Now I haven't really done a lot of their reading through their app and stuff, but did you find educational content in Acorns that was beneficial?
Yeah, I read it all, and I got it. That's kind of one of the things that hooked me on playing the long term and not maybe selling one day when I was up.
Yeah, because I remember we were talking, and you said I might be getting out, and I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, I wasn't going to be getting totally out, but I suddenly was up, I think 25% in 3 days, and I was like, ooh, I could cash out now and make a couple bucks. And in fact, I did that. Cashed out, waited till everything. I left $1 in so I could see the percentage drop.
Okay.
I waited till it dropped a bunch, and then I dove back in. So it was like buying stocks on sale.
Nice. That's I didn't really know. Yeah, you can do that because you can do that with regular stock sales. So it doesn't. I guess it makes sense that you'd be able to do it with Acorns as well, as long as you keep the account open.
That's when you get into that stupid level of trying to predict what can't be predicted. But go ahead with the cons. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. This is a great discussion. So cons, they say small investment portfolio, and they say high fees on small account balances. Now, to me, that's not enough cons to rate a 1.5 star drop. I don't know where they're getting this from.
The maximum Acorns can cost you a month, the maximum is $3. $1 a month for the investment account, $1 a month for the IRA, and $1 a month for the debit card.
Mm-hmm.
Maximum $3. If you pull cash out one time out of an ATM that isn't your local bank, that's free. You saved your $3 right there.
Oh yeah, because you can get hit double time if it's not your bank's ATM.
Any sort of found money is usually more than the $3. Your IRA alone, because you can't touch it, that $3 you're going to make that up almost every week in your IRA. I mean, that's like a 99.999% guarantee. So $3 a month, I make more than that off the found money, off the change, off the roundup. The $3 a month is ridiculously small.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're not gonna miss it because you're gonna be seeing so much more benefit that's gonna overshadow.
Yeah, if it costs me $3 to make 100.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a no-brainer. So they break down, I mean, again, for those of you who are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, we're looking at the NerdWallet 2020 review of Acorns. And NerdWallet is kind of, they're a finance website aimed at geek culture, trying to brand certain services for financial markets. So they cover a lot of different things. They'll rate various credit card companies, etc. So they give star reviews here. And I just want to kind of highlight some of these where they give them really low stars. So they gave 3 stars on the account fees. And they say it's $50 per ETF to have your ETFs transferred to another broker, which I don't know why you would do that. That would be like saying moving your investments to like Schwab or TD Ameritrade or some other platform. And they say that no charge to sell your investments and have your money transferred, which that is a huge benefit, not getting the commission fees. Because I have a TD Ameritrade account, and I bought some penny stocks in JC Penney's, ironic, and it cost me $7 to buy 80 shares of JC Penney's at 35 cents a share. So the share is the stock has already got to grow significantly just to make up for that commission fee alone. Accounts supported individual non-retirement accounts, Roth and traditional IRAs, online checking with a debit card, but they gave it 2 stars for that. That doesn't make any sense to me either, because those are really good services.
I agree.
Tax strategy, 1 star, not available. Now, you've sold some. What do you know about the tax situation with dealing with your Acorns account?
So taxes with Acorns is the same as taxes with anybody else. It is non-taxable unless you make a certain amount. So I'm gonna say that again slowly. You can buy and sell and trade all day long and maybe still wind up not paying any taxes if you don't pull it out and make a certain amount of money. So I'm trying to think how to explain this really simple. If I play the long game and I stuff in money all year long and my Acorns value went from $3,000 of my money to $5,500 because the stock went up, and I don't sell, which means I make no profit and just my value's up, they can't tax that. So if you play the long game, you will not get taxed, at least on the invest account. I'm not 100% on how the IRA works, but I think the tax of the IRA is the same as they are with any other IRA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
IRAs are pretty lock solid. You got to just leave it alone.
So now if I were to have my value skyrocket and sell to make a profit, yes, I would have to pay taxes, and they send you the form if you make enough. If you don't make enough, they don't send you the form. And that's not skimping on the IRS. That's not fraud. It's not taxable until a certain amount. So when they say tax support, I don't understand how they can give that a 1 star, because either you do make enough or you don't make enough. And they tell you if you do, and they send you the form, and then you just fill it out, and it's easy. So I disagree with that review.
Okay. Tools, they give it 2 stars, and they say the app's potential tools let you adjust the dollar amount invested to see how your total investments will grow over time. I don't really think there's any there. I mean, the app is geared towards people setting it and forgetting it, even in the entry level with the investment account. So you basically just kind of pick conservative to aggressive and a little scope in between and let it go, correct?
Yeah, I set mine to the most aggressive way, because if you don't bet big, you don't win big. And, if you adjust your portfolio, that is like selling or buying stocks. If you adjust it enough, you could potentially pay taxes on all that microtransactioning, because that does seal in your loss or seal in your gain when you adjust your portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So I just set mine to aggressive, and I've never adjusted it since. As far as tools, there are projections. There's a projection tool on your IRA and your invest account. There's a breakdown of percentage and what type of companies you're invested in. And I think if you dig a little further on the website, maybe not the app, but on the website, it'll tell you the companies that you're in. So I don't know how many more tools you need other than that, because again, the best bet is set it and forget it. If you play set it and forget it with investments, the stock market every year on average is a 7.5% return. That's the average.
And what on your traditional savings account, what do you think your interest rate has been?
What is it? Is it 0.09 right now?
For yours, that's high. Mine's through JP Morgan Chase is 0.01.
Yeah, so we're not. I mean, 7.5 versus we'll average the two out, 0.05. I'll take my 7.5%, and that's something that discourages people too, because they hear that mantra: micro investing is micro return. Yes, initially, if you invest $100 and you go up 1%, you made $1, and that's okay. But at $1,000,
you made
1%. Well, no, it's 10%.
Okay.
But if you get up, when you get up to 1,000, 1% is $10. When you start getting into 2,500 and more, the percentages stay the same, but the value of them goes up. So playing at that long term, your first year or two, you might not see any massive gains. But again, playing the long term, if you let it sit, you'll eventually have $4,500 sitting in there, $5,000. And that's a lot to poor people, and it's not a lot to rich people, but any amount of free money is free money. I'm not going to stop I'll stop and pick up any penny I see on the ground. I'm not too proud.
Yeah, my whole goal with getting into Acorns was to find a safe way to save money for this trip to Japan that my wife and I are planning in 2023, and make it hard for us to kind of go get that money in case we want to make some stupid mistake with it. And just adding a couple extra steps is remarkable. It just keeps you out of the account. It makes it like you gives you more time to not be emotional and think about what you're doing before you take out the money. And that's really what it takes, is not acting on those knee-jerk emotional responses. Because like you were saying earlier, that's how a lot of people get out. They get out when it's down. They don't give that asset a chance to appreciate, and they lose that money forever. The last thing they talk about is the bank account, cash management account. They give it 2 stars. They say the Acorns Spend account comes with a debit card, mobile check deposit, and check sending, but no interest is paid on the account, and they give that 2 stars. What can you comment on that?
Right. So it's a debit account without a brick and mortar bank, and you don't have the option to set up a savings account like you do with most banks. Yep, that's fine. They're totally valid. But if I go to one local restaurant and use it once and I get my 5% of that purchase back, I'm competing with banks right then and there on their interest rate. So you may not have a savings account, but you will save and gain money, because then it invests that 5% on your behalf and it turns that 5% into more. So they're knocking something that it wasn't designed to do, and its actual system functions better than what they want it to do. So they are ignorant about the tool itself.
So I would almost say that NerdWallet's a little biased against Acorns, because it seems like a lot of these things that are down, it's just something they're not getting or they don't want to get.
Right. These people are angry because the hammer won't drive screws.
That's a really good analogy. They do point out a lot of the things where it shines, so they do give it some glowing things. Acorns sweeps excess change from your purchase. I mean, this is something that that in itself alone has been a game changer, and I hate using that colloquialism because it's so dead and tired. But for me, it was, because just like the pocket change that I would come empty at the end of the day, that ended up in 1 year being over $100, just nickels, dimes, and quarters. Well, imagine if those nickels and dimes and quarters were invested in a stock account, earning that average of 7%, and you keep doing that year after year, compound interest, it snowballs, it grows, and you have a nest egg. And people who come from the life, because I know you're a blue collar guy just like me, we do what we can to survive. We weren't born with a silver spoon in our mouth, and it's been really hard because nobody ever taught us these things. There was no financial education in high school and public school, and I would argue that's by design. They want us to make these errors. The big, the central bankers, they need poor people making poor people mistakes because poor people will borrow money, and that enriches the central bankers. So the more we can kind of change our mindset and start making the same decisions that they would make, you can really change your life. And ultimately, like if you're going to have children at some point, they don't have to struggle the way that you had to struggle because you're trying to fix those family errors. And I kind of want to get back to, we did a really good job of going through this review here, and I really appreciate you for that. I want to kind of touch on again, like some of the things, like I think this is really good for people to hear over and over again. What are some of the harder behaviors that you really had to just like muscle down and change in order to get where you're at right now?
So I'll be honest. I was making $150,000 a year at speed dating for about 7 years in a row. And I had almost no expenses because I made the cons pay for it. I literally double, triple dipped every chance I could, and I made money. But then you go off and I have a comic book worth more than most people's cars hanging on the wall over there. I have a signed Schwarzenegger 1887 shotgun from Terminator 2. I've got a signed gas tank from Harley. I've got an endo arm. Just looking at my stuff all around here, I've pissed it away on material things that don't really do anything for me. Going out to eat after every show at Rodizio at $50 a person and picking up the tab because you're big baller with the money. And so what really was for me was just, is it going to make me happy? Is it useful? Is it going to make me money? Asking those questions before I buy stuff. And then the biggest thing, and I'm fat and I can admit it, the biggest thing is food. You go out to a restaurant, you pay $20 minimum to eat, anything above fast food. Even fast food is pretty easy to hit 20 if you're a big guy. But then if you go and grocery shop for the same stuff, meals are like $2 or $3 a person on the high end. I did the math with the peanut butter and jelly and the carrot sticks. That's 80 cents a day. That's lunch 5 days a week at work for 80 cents. So the biggest thing is stopping the massive impulse buys or delivery because it's easy, or going out because you don't want to cook. I got rid of cable. I got rid of satellite. I don't have Disney Plus. I think all I have is Netflix. And honestly, if that goes up much more, that is a giant wall of DVDs that I have that I can sit and watch. And it was just having to stop buying stuff. And people want that. People want those tangible things. And I even told Sarah and her family for Christmas, don't buy me anything. I don't want gifts. And I'm not going to buy you anything. And it's not that I don't love you or care about you. It's a waste of money just to buy you some trinkety bobbly bead because the calendar tells us to. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds really crass, but how much money do you spend on Christmas every year trying to impress people who honestly don't care? I'm not talking about a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid for Christmas. That's different. I'm talking about grown adults and the in-laws and your family, and that's another huge waste. I don't do anything for Easter, or I stopped throwing the Halloween party. We don't go out to the movies as much, and if we do, we go to small local theaters. And instead of 2 popcorns, it's 1. We really cut back on, doing things that cost tons of money, and just going for a walk is free. Going for a ride on the motorcycle is the cost of gas. So, and if the people listening, if you get into Dave Ramsey, he'll go into this more. But it's the mantra is live like no one else today, so you can live like no one else tomorrow.
Right.
So if you got to suffer and penny pinch and be miserly and maybe just think good thoughts for a grown adult's birthday, that's okay. Because there's cash in the bank.
Yeah, and a lot of times these other adults, they really would rather just hear from you. and see you and be especially family. It's like that's a better present than you can give somebody, is to give them your time and to be with them. We do have one comment, and so Tommy Sharp says, "How can I make money?" And it's a simplistic question, but it's one that I think a lot of people have a hard time answering because they feel like they're stuck in a rut.
I can answer it easily.
Okay, go for it.
Tommy, if you're listening, there's always someplace you can work. And I have cleaned hospital toilets. I have worked in a prison. I did my own business. I worked at McDonald's for 2.5 years. I worked at Walmart for 10 years. Go, mouth shut, head down, do your 9-to-5 grind. Most of those will pay the bills with not much room for else. That's the cold, hard reality. Then in your spare time, you got to get that side hustle on. DoorDash, buying and reselling things. Find free shit on the side of the road like I do and sell it for $10. Sell off the stuff that you don't need or want in your house. Really good rule of thumb. If it's been sitting for 2 years and you forgot it was there, sell it.
Yep.
And then not only making money, but you got to stop spending money. You don't need your Starbucks. You don't need your McDonald's. Set a grocery budget, make a menu, and just cook it home. But bring your lunch to work, brown bag it. And people want to give you crap, you're not there to impress them. I'm serious. You're there to line your pockets and put up your bank account. And then use Acorns again, because this is kind of the topic of the day. We got off of it, but use Acorns to its max. Get all that free money and just keep putting in money and forget about it. And then one day, when maybe the poo hits the fan, or maybe you need a couple bucks, you'll look down at Acorns and suddenly you'll have $4,000 in there. And $4,000 doesn't seem like a lot to anybody, but if your car craps the bed on you, $4,000 will buy you a Chevy Cavalier or a Honda Civic that'll run for another 10 years with minimal stuff.
Oh yeah,
$4,000 is life-changing to people.
To a majority of the population, $4,000 is life-changing money.
Oh yeah. Did you know if you have no debt and $10 in your pocket, you have more money than 90% of the U.S. population?
I believe it.
Yeah. So that's how you make money. You got to rise and shine and grind and put the effort in. And you know what? You're going to suffer. You don't need to go to concerts. You don't need to go to the movies. You need to redefine a need and a necessity versus a want or a would-be nice. I want a Dodge Viper. A Geo Metro will get me there the same way.
Amen. Amen. I think it was Robert Kiyosaki who says, what can you do if you have no debt? Anything you want.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we are coming up on the end of the time. I really want to thank my guest host, because really you're more than a guest. You basically guest hosted Ryan Glitch. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and he's doing it right. He's doing it smart. And please listen to the advice that he had for us today on the show. It's definitely something that we're the only ones who can change our lives. We're the only ones who can change our behavior. If you're waiting on some sort of outside force to come and shove you, it's not going to happen. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, listen, whoever you are, we're changing our behavior. We're doing things different. You got to reprogram your brain, retrain yourself, whatever you got to do, and live for the life that you want tomorrow. And
you
sock that money away.
You can't depend on the state to take care of you. You can't depend on a rich relative biting the dust and leaving an inheritance. You can't depend on winning the lottery. What you can depend on is busting your butt to get those 40 hours a week, and then putting a little heart in and going that extra mile with the side hustle, DoorDash, Postmates, buying and reselling. And I know I sound like I'm harping on that, but you know what? Hard work is the only thing that guarantees you money.
Yeah, well, I would say that our time is currency. That is money. We trade these worthless federal note dollars back and forth just because we all agree it has some value. But the real intrinsic value is the time that we put in to get that. And
how many people do you know tell you, well, I don't have time to do that? Everybody that says they don't have time, I guarantee they watch 4 hours of TV a day.
at least 4 hours of TV a day.
4 hours of door dashing is $75 to $100
Nice.
times 5 days a week. Life changing.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to sound off today. Thank you again, Ryan, for being here. Remember, we are not financial advisors. We don't have degrees in this stuff. We don't get paid to do this. We're doing this show out of our hearts to change our own lives and hopefully inspire some others to make changes. Please consult financial advisors if you're going to make big decisions with your money. Do your own homework. Learn for yourself. Look up people on YouTube like Robert Kiyosaki, like Dave Ramsey. We're going to leave a link in the description on YouTube for Acorns, for Ryan's account to sign up through him for this episode, to thank him for being here. And if you sign up for Acorns, you'll get a free $5 in your account. And then you can tell your friends and family about it. And for each friends and family you get to sign up, you'll get $5 for them too. So that's another way that you can earn free money. So once again, my name is Eric, and this has been Broke Money Hustle. And we thank you for listening, wherever you're listening, whatever podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And of course, we go live every Saturday and Monday, Saturdays at 11 a.m. For our kind of weekend review wrap-up show, and every Monday at 5:30 to give our plays on what we're doing for the week and how we're going to play the market. And we always look forward to having great guests to tell us about their side hustles, how broke they used to be, and how they're saving their money. So thank you again. This has been Broke Money Hustle.
This is Broke Money Hustle. And now here's Broke Money Hustle with Traco and Eric.